once you go somewhere totally different. And so this is a very Chicago piece, as you'll see, but I think there was something that happened to be in that that allowed me to organize it and see it so clearly. So
what I tell you about the week, last week, that I did 31 hours of class in 4 days.
When I was in math, I know that it opened up a lot of doors for me as a writer. What I'm about to do, and I don't even know what it is yet, but it's going to be earth-shattering, right? I mean, we keep talking here. It's going to be amazing.
It's incredible because you start to generate these little ideas and it can go any different way you want to. So I think we could really incorporate that into our program. And I think
he said a writer has permission to write about anything, which is something that we say here, but we sort of say it as a whole class in prose.
I've been very taken by some of the methods that are used at Chicago and how well the students respond to them and have developed certain skills to such a level that they can almost, in the in-class writing exercises, they can produce these very vivid pieces of writing.
People are going to be here for a while. I'm happy if you just come up and speak with them, okay? But I want to thank you all for coming today, and remember the event at Lincoln Hall tonight. Welcome to the final night of Story Week. This program is partially supported by a grant from the Illinois Arts Council, a state agency, and I have to say I'm so happy that they have managed to squeeze blood out of the Illinois budget turnip this year to give us a very substantial grant for Story Week. Story Week is also sponsored in part by the Chicago Public Library, Metro, and a whole lot of other people and organizations that are listed in the back of your program, and I hope you will read that very carefully and thank them all.
The great thing about this is you do not only get to see Chicago writers, you get a sense of something that has influenced them. You get some insight into, by what they've chosen to read, what they are all about.
Taylor Dreiser earns my undying devotion because he spent years as a reporter and magazine editor.
So yeah, I'm going to read from a poem by Lou Welch called Chicago Poem. And Welch was a kind of a obscure beat poet, but I thought, he's a guy that people should check out.
I'll be reading an excerpt from Angela Jackson's Where I Must Go, a novel that I was first introduced to in 2009 at a wonderful event.
It's actually from A.K. Ramanujan. I don't know how many people here are familiar with the works of A.K. Ramanujan.
I'm going to read something from Harriet Monroe, who actually, it's interesting, we've just heard from a collector of stories. Harriet Monroe was sort of a collector of poets.
When Jan and I were starting New City 25 years ago last month, we were less than 25 years old at the time. And
by way of introduction to this piece, I am simply saying Mike Royko, Richard J. Daly.
So I'm going to read from an essay that was written by Richard Wright in 1945.
I had the great pleasure of being mentored by Miss Gwendolyn Brooks for the last 13 years. She was with us on this planet. She will be 94 this June.
I'm reading something written to one of my Chicago favorite writers, and it's from Beloved Chicago Man, which is a collection of love letters that Simone de Beauvoir wrote to Nelson Algren.
I have in my life had a lot of really great ideas at the Billy Goat, two of which turned into really shitty marriages. this really was. The thing about this, and we're all word people, I like to think here, what this evening has done for me, for my stupid, kind of drunken, like, let's get this over with, fast idea, it has made me need to go to a bookstore tomorrow.
Hey.